Good morning and happy Thursday. Hopefully everybody's doing well. I hope everybody's looking forward to this nice holiday weekend coming up. I know most of us will be at home and it's like, yay. But do something nice. Put a tent up in the backyard. Go camping. Go for a walk. Do something. It's going to be a really nice weekend. So on Tuesday we talked about different types of screws. Today I want to talk about nails. Nails, just like screws, they come in all different shapes and sizes, and they also have different applications. The first thing is, let's talk about the sizing of nails. Nails are sized according to a penny system. And this is where it's going to get confusing, is because on the box, you're going to see things like this. Hey, these are hot dip galvanized spiral shank deck nails. Cool. 8D. 8D means 8 penny nail. Well, why don't they just put a P? There's the theory that the D stands for, was it denarius or denaro? It was a Greek term for, money essentially, and therefore penny. So if you hear the term like, hey, I need an 8 penny nail, or go get some, 16D sinkers, D, penny, just remember in your head, you hear that, they're talking about the same thing. It's this length or size. The bigger the penny size, the longer the nail. You can see, too, that most boxes, like this one here, it says, hey, it's an 8D spiral shank. Approximate length, 2.5 inches. 5 pounds. And you get 135 per box. Perfect. Or per pound, excuse me. So, yeah, you buy them by the pound. You don't buy them by the individual. But you can see, hey, for every pound, I get about 135. So 135 times 5, that tells you how many you have. That's how they're actually rated. Now let's talk about the actual types of nails we have here. First off, to give you a size comparison, here's my hand. That's a big nail. This will be called a pole barn nail or a barn nail. It's what they call ring shank. You can see there's like little grooves in it. Sorry, red paint. I was painting a log splitter yesterday. And otherwise, the nail is smooth. This is galvanized. In other words, it has a zinc coating on it so it doesn't rust. This will be good for an outdoor or exterior application. But the whole idea with these rings in it is that as it enters into the wood, it's very, very, very difficult to pull out. Like, you don't want that. You don't want the board to become loose. So these are used on pole barns for putting in headers and so forth up on the sides. I bought these to actually do a dock up in Canada, dock repair, because, again, perfect. Docks get wet, and this one here won't pull out easily. I mean, can you pull these out? Sure. They're going to take a little bit more work, but on their own, they're not going to get loose. But that's a pretty big nail, and that's used for, some major projects. Let's put him off to the side because he's kind of an oddball. Let's talk about these guys here. So the first one up we have is your common home construction nail. 16 penny. About 3.5 inches long total. And typically you'll see some ring shanks on it. This one's completely smooth that I happen to have. There's no coating on this. This is just bare steel. If I put this outside in the rain, it's going to rust. Well, McMullen, why would I build my house with this? Because your house doesn't get wet on the inside. It's not going to rust. It probably will rust a little bit on the surface from just moisture in your house, but it's not going to fail. So this is your standard construction nail. If we're doing a woodworking project, we're probably not going to use it. That's a 3.5 inch nail. Moving on to the next one. Hey, this is an 8D, or about 2.5 inches, and it's spiral shanked and ring shanked. Notice there's rings at the top, and the nail actually has a spiral to it. These things are awesome and horrible at the same time. So if I wanted to put something together, I have these, and this is actually galvanized too, so we can use it outdoors. I use these on the sugar shack that I built to hold the siding on. These are not going to come out. In fact, if you put one of these in and you make a mistake, it is really tough pulling it out, because as it drives in, it's going to actually turn and almost act like a screw. So this thing here, as far as nails go, are going to probably have the best hold. But am I going to use it in a woodworking project? No. It's galvanized. I don't need anything that fancy. But again, each nail has its own application. These next two are probably going to be your most common for actual woodworking. We have what we call trim and wire nails. So this, I'm just going to bring the camera down, be easy. So first off, it's hard doing this through the camera, is we have what's called a finish nail. This would be used in a house for like a trim, putting in doors, any type of molding. Notice it's really small, and also it has almost no head to it. The idea being that you can then take a punch and recess this into the wood so it's not noticeable. Will we use these in woodworking? Yes. And again, we're going to size it just like a screw. You want it about 1.5 times the length of the thickest board you're going to be using. We have smaller ones. Here's another little trim nail. Notice the head on it is very small. The idea is that we can drive it into the wood and then take a punch and recess it down in, and then take some wood filler. This would be a good place to use wood filler. That little tiny spot, nobody's ever going to see it. Here's what they call a box nail. Notice it has little rings. It's really, really small, and it has a head to it. These were literally used to build crates and boxes. You got to remember, before the days of Amazon and cardboard boxes everywhere, if we shipped anything, it was in wooden pallets or wooden crates. Box nails. These were used to put the lids on and so forth. What we use them for now? Small woodworking projects. I always keep a box because this seems to be like a nice little handy nail if you're hanging up a picture inside the house, or maybe you just got to nail something quickly together. These last two are specific for application. This is a drywall nail. Please don't use nails in drywall. I know it's made for it. Notice it's ring shank, so it's going to hold. But the reality of it is just use a screw. I've always had these pop on me when I'm drywalling. Not to say I haven't had, I have had bad luck with them, but I'm going to use a screw if I'm going to do drywall. But they do make drywall nails. I think a lot of people use them more for little hobby projects than actual drywalling anymore. And then this last one, and you notice too the head on it, the bigger the head, the more hold it's going to have for that piece on the out, whatever the outside material may be. And this last one, notice it has a huge head on it. This is an actual roofing nail. This is made to hold that shingle on your roof. It almost has like a giant washer head type. Ooh, my Easy Bake Oven's done. Doing a little side project for powder coating out in the garage this morning. You probably heard the ticking the whole time and we're going, what the heck is that noise? So the bigger the head on it, the more hold it's going to have, and less tearaway or chance of that shingle ripping off. If I had used one of these to put a shingle on, well, the head's not very big, and if we get a windstorm, that shingle will probably just tear right off. Whereas this acts like a washer and keeps that shingle down. So for woodworking, it's going to be those guys right there, those little tiny, some trim nails and box nails. For construction, well, you're probably going to see, well, not him, but you'll see them, you'll see him, maybe even him. But again, there's lots of different nails. Just know this. Just like when we talked about screws earlier, every nail has a purpose, has a coating for the application. Outdoor, indoor, outdoor, electroplated, and then all these indoor. These don't have any coating on them. They'll rust right out. These are coated with galvanization or electroplating. They're going to last a lot longer out in the weather. Also, you're not going to use that for anything inside your house. And if you are, you probably have some kind of problem going on where you need something that big. So those are our nails. That's what I wanted to talk to you about. One thing that people make a mistake with nails is they forget that, that's a big diameter. Going into a piece of wood, oh, I split my wood. You can pre-drill for a nail. And people always say, what? I could pre-drill a nail? Yeah. What you can do is, I learned this trick a long time ago, especially with I built a little clock for a friend of mine as a gift one year, is I took, and I learned this, like these little finish nails. Even this tiny little thing right here, if I put it into a piece of oak, it's probably going to split it. However, if I take a drill, and I just take a pair of cutters, and I nip that little tiny head off of it, and then I actually put the nail in the drill, believe it or not, this will act like a drill bit. And you're like, huh? Why don't you just get a drill bit? You could, but this is already the diameter I need, and nails are extremely cheap. If I sacrifice one as a drill, it's going to be fine. So you can actually chuck this up in your cordless drill or your corded drill, whatever you have, and actually go up to your wood, drill in with that, and then come back with an actual nail and put it in through the hole. These will drill really quick. You'll actually be surprised how fast it drills. So that's a little trick I learned, so that if you're having wood split out, use the nail itself as a drill bit. Works great. This week's assignment, gonna be pretty easy. Nah, I'm kidding. It'll be okay. Take a look at below in Google Classroom. I'll have the assignment listed for you. Remember, you got 1 week to complete it. For those of you still doing the assignments, thank you so much. If you're just watching these videos going, hey, well, whatever, at least shoot me an email and let me know you're okay. I haven't heard from a lot of people, and I guess it's just a sign of the times. So hopefully everybody's doing well. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you back on Tuesday.